Hello everyone. I share real stories that I know and I'm sure you will like them. Enjoy watching and don't forget to like.
My husband forgot our 20th anniversary, but the man who remembered wasn't even supposed to know it mattered. My name is Dana. I'm 48 years old and I live in a small town in northern Indiana. It's the kind of place where everyone waves from their porch, but no one really knows each other anymore. My husband, Greg, and I have been married 20 years, 20 long, mostly steady years. 2 grown kids, 1 yellow lab, and a house that's always just a little too quiet lately. I run a little boutique downtown, sundresses, handmade candles, leather bags that no one really needs, but everyone wants to touch. Greg's a regional sales manager for a company that sells commercial roofing supplies. Glamorous, I know. He's on the road a lot. Conference calls from bland hotel rooms, takeout containers in the sink when he's home. I stopped waiting up for him 3 years ago, maybe 4. This year, our anniversary fell on a Thursday. I didn't say a word about it that morning. I made his coffee like I always do, even put a heart on the mug with the foam. He didn't notice. He grabbed it, kissed my forehead absently, and asked if I'd seen his blue polo, the one with the embroidered company logo. By the time he left, I'd already known. He'd forgotten. I unlocked the shop around 9:45 like usual. The bell over the door jingled, and the space smelled like vanilla and aged leather and a little bit of loneliness. At 10:03, Caleb walked in. He's the delivery guy from the local printing shop. I'd been ordering custom tags and packaging from him for over a year now. Younger than me, mid-30s maybe, with these warm hazel eyes and sleeves rolled up just enough to show the edges of an old tattoo. He always smiled when he saw me. Not the professional kind, either. The kind that said, "I noticed you." "Happy anniversary," he said, setting the box down gently on the counter. I blinked. "What?" He looked embarrassed for half a second. I saw the reminder when I was setting your order. Last year, you mentioned it. Said you were planning a trip to Nashville, remember? I didn't remember telling him that. "Did you go?" he asked. "No," I said, trying to smile. "We never made it." He paused. "I'm sorry. I didn't mean to overstep." "You didn't," I said. And I meant it. He started stopping by more often after that. Sometimes with legitimate deliveries. Sometimes just to say hi. We'd talk about little things. Music, coffee, his mother's obsession with hummingbirds, my favorite smell in the shop. He liked when I wore lavender, said it reminded him of a field he got lost in once as a kid. One afternoon, it started raining out of nowhere. A loud, rushing summer storm that came so fast the sky barely had time to darken. I was rearranging the scarves near the front when the bell rang and Caleb stumbled in, soaked halfway through and laughing like a boy who'd just dared the sky to catch him. "You're drenched," I said, running to grab a towel from the back room. He wiped his face, droplets sliding down his arms, catching on the ink of his skin. "Thought I'd drop these off," he said, setting a single envelope on the counter. "Didn't want them to get wet." It was empty. I looked up. "I lied," he said softly. "I just wanted to see you." The shop felt smaller in that moment. The rain louder. My heartbeat louder still. I didn't know what to say, so I didn't say anything. I just handed him the towel. His fingers brushed mine when he took it, and I didn't pull away. The next Thursday, I locked up early. I don't know why. I told myself it was the weather again. The forecast said storms, though the sky looked more apologetic than angry. I walked to the cafe 2 blocks down, the one that made the lavender shortbread I liked. I told myself I wasn't going there because I knew he might be. I even told myself I wouldn't look for him. But I did. He was there, sitting alone in the corner with a coffee and a half-read book, head tilted just enough that the light caught the soft streak of gold in his hair. He looked up as I walked in, smiled like he'd been waiting. I walked past him, ordered my shortbread, told myself I'd sit outside, but when I turned, he'd pulled out the chair across from him, and I sat down. His eyes met mine. "I know I shouldn't be here," he said. "I know," I whispered. He reached across the table, just his fingertips grazing mine, and the door chimed behind me. Greg, standing in the entryway, his face unreadable, his eyes locked on our hands. I didn't sleep that night. I lay in bed staring at the ceiling, my mind running in endless, dizzying loops. The ceiling fan hummed. Greg's breathing was steady, too steady, like he was forcing himself to stay asleep. But I knew he wasn't. Not really. When I got up, the floor was cold. I padded to the kitchen in silence, moving on instinct. Mug, coffee capsule, press. My hands were trembling. I couldn't stop them. 10 minutes later, I heard his footsteps. He walked in like nothing had happened. His hair was tousled, his pajama shirt still creased from sleep. He scratched his chin, glanced at the window, then at me. "You've got that delivery today, right?" he asked, his voice casual. Too casual. I nodded. "Yeah." He reached for the same mug I'd been using for his coffee for years, the one with the heart I'd drawn on it that anniversary morning. He paused when he saw it, looked at it a second too long, then picked it up and walked away. No confrontation, no questions. And somehow, that silence was worse than yelling. The delivery came right after lunch. Caleb stood outside the door, box in hand, but his smile was different now, guarded. "I wasn't sure if I should come," he said. I looked around. Greg's car wasn't in the driveway. He was at work, or at least I hoped he was. "You're here," I said quietly. He stepped inside, set the box on the counter like usual. But he didn't step away. Did he say anything? I shook my head. Not a word. Caleb exhaled. "I'm sorry, Dana. I never meant to put you in the middle of anything. You didn't." I looked at him. I did that to myself. We stood in silence, the air thick with everything we weren't saying. I noticed his hand. Just a slight twitch of his fingers, like he wanted to reach for mine. Like he remembered what it felt like to touch me. I remembered too. And it wasn't the touch that haunted me. It was what it meant. He saw me. Caleb saw me. Not the version of me that made coffee and folded laundry. Not the wife, or the mother, or the woman who stayed behind while her husband forgot to look up from his phone. He saw me as I hadn't been seen in years. The way his eyes lingered when I spoke. The way he laughed like I mattered. The way he remembered. I should have asked him to leave. I didn't. Instead, I moved closer. "I can't do this," I whispered. "But I want to." He looked at me like he understood. Like he felt the same weight in his chest. "We're not bad people," he said. "No," I replied. "Just lost ones." His hand found mine. We stood there, holding each other's gaze. And in that quiet moment, I realized something terrifying. We hadn't crossed a line. We were already on the other side. That evening, I made dinner. Out of habit, more than anything. Chicken with rosemary, roasted potatoes, salad with too much vinaigrette, just like he liked it. Greg came home later than usual. Shirt wrinkled. "Ty askew." He didn't say why. He sat at the table, barely touched his plate. Halfway through the meal, he set down his fork. "I saw the camera footage," he said. My hand froze on my glass. "What?" He looked up. Calm. Devastatingly calm. From the shop. "I set up a remote alert last year after that break-in across the street. I forgot it was still syncing to my phone. Until yesterday. My throat closed. The footage. The cafe. My hand in Caleb's. Nothing happened, I said quickly. Greg, I swear to you. His eyes flashed. Don't lie to me, Dana. Not now. I couldn't speak. There were no right words left. He pushed his chair back. The screech of it against the tile cut through me like a blade. Do you love him? He asked. I stared at him. No, I said. Too fast. Then, softer. I don't know. He laughed once. Bitter and sharp. That's worse. I tried to reach for him. He pulled back. You want honesty? He said. Fine. I forgot our anniversary. I forgot a lot of things. But I never stopped being your husband. I looked at him, really looked at him, and realized I hadn't seen this version of him in years. The man who once held me like I was the only thing that made sense. And now he looked at me like I was a stranger. That night, he slept on the couch. And I cried alone in our bed. 2 days later, when I got home from the shop, his things were gone. Just gone. No note. No message. Just a clean closet and silence. I walked into the kitchen and saw something sitting on the counter. His wedding ring. Beside it, the coffee mug with the little heart on the side. He'd washed it, dried it, placed it like a memory. I stood there for a long time, holding that mug in both hands, as if it could tell me how to go back to before. But there's no going back. Not after someone sees you, and someone else doesn't. Greg left the ring. I left everything else.